Hello, NA Summer here, and welcome to weekly update number 15. This is where I let you know everything I've been up to this week, and we have a big one, so let's get right into it, because this week in reading, I finished A Game of Thrones. And was it worth it? Should you read it? I say yes. This book was very good, wonderfully written. Probably heard from 100 other people that George is a very good writer, and it is true. Like, his prose is not like super elegant, but it's not simple either, and it is still easy to read, and he finds a lot of the best words. The story had a lot of great moments. There was only a couple things that the show deviated from or didn't really do that were pretty interesting, but other than that, the show is very close, and the book was just, the way it was written is just very impactful. I don't want to get into like too many spoilers or anything, but all the big moments, they hit you pretty hard, and the ending was the perfect climax for so many of the characters, and it just really sets up the Game of Thrones so well. And I am very excited to continue on with it. So yes, if you've been thinking about reading A Game of Thrones and haven't, I would encourage you to do so. I know Winds of Winter is not out yet, but hopefully someday it will be, and I'm sure it'll be awesome. But I am excited to continue and see how much better the books get. And yeah, that's it for A Game of Thrones. I really enjoyed it, and now I'm in to Mistborn: A Secret History. It's in the middle of this short story collection, and about 200 pages in, and it goes for 170 pages. I am at 285, so I read about 85 pages of it yesterday, and I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. So there's really interesting stuff going on, and it's really interesting to see. But without getting into spoilers for Mistborn as well, it's kind of, how I can say this without spoilers, it's kind of like showing you stuff that's going on in the background of books 2 and 3 of the first Mistborn trilogy. And I kind of feel like I like it better not knowing. But I'm 85 pages into it right now out of 170. Maybe the last half gets really exciting, and maybe I'll change my mind. I'm not hating it at all, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I really wanted to hear this story. So hopefully it turns around. I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating it, so it's not like I hate that I've read it, but it's not the most exciting thing to me right now either. I still read it pretty quickly, so it still is interesting. So it does have that, and I'm sure I'll be happy to know some of the conclusions for later stuff, because I'll be going into the Alloy of Law afterwards, and I'm sure eventually some of the stuff that happens in the Secret History is going to come out in the Mistborn Era 2, and I am excited about Mistborn Era 2. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think knowing what I know going into it and everything, I think I should have fun with it. And I think it'll be a nice series to read in between Game of Thrones stuff. I might just try to go through the whole series, though, because I don't know how fast I'm going to get through it. The first couple books are smaller, but then once you get to the last two, they get a little bigger. But yeah, I want to finish before Stormlight 5 comes out, so we'll see how quickly I go through it and see when I get back onto A Song of Ice and Fire. I am very excited to keep going with A Song of Ice and Fire, but I'm also very excited for Stormlight 5, and I kind of want to get onto that with everybody else. So that's that. What I've read, what I'm going to be reading, and I also got in the mail today Bloodstones by Tori Tekken. This is a book that's been on my radar because I've watched some videos that Tori Tekken has put out and enjoyed them, and I was interested in the novel, but John from Talking Story, he's really talked very highly of it, and it has bumped it up my TBR, and I might try to get onto it after these things I read right here. Maybe. I am excited to read it, especially after the high praises he gave it. As he would say, it blew his hair back, which is what A Game of Thrones did to me. It blew my non-existent hair back. But I am excited to see how that book goes as well. And that gets us out of the reading section, and let's move on to writing. So, this week in writing, I only read through and edited 2 chapters, but that was because it was the last 2 chapters of my novel. That was chapters 34 and the epilogue, and I have really enjoyed this. I am super excited to start going into revisions and add the few 5-ish or so chapters that I plan to add. Yeah, I'm excited to flesh things out a lot more and ready for people to start reading it. I'm excited to see what people think. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very happy with it. So once I get some revisions done, I will be letting some people read it and see what they think of it. And with that said, what have I been watching this week? So I completely binged through Cobra Kai's newest season, the half of it that's out, and I had fun with it. I think Cobra Kai, like the first season was like super well done. First couple seasons I really liked, and I still really enjoy the show. Like, it's just like one of those popcorn shows. Like, you just have fun with it. It's not anything like amazing or anything, but it's fun and I enjoy it, and it's cool to see how they bring in all the cameos and stuff, and I had fun with it and ready for this next half of it. But other than that, I watched another episode of Jessica Jones, and this episode was kind of interesting. It's Jessica Jones season 2 if you're just now hopping into it. I kind of like this episode. It was called AKA Octopus, and it's kind of like there's a doctor and he really likes octopuses, and it's like, Doc Ock, huh? And I'm like, I wonder if this is supposed to be Doc Ock, or because Sony has Doc Ock, if they were just like, this is a doctor and he likes octopuses, read between the lines. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. I'm hoping the rest of the season gets even better, because the first part of it didn't hook me a ton, but I'm enjoying it as well. But yeah, Game of Thrones, so good. I feel like I had a lot to talk about, and I feel like I talked about it really fast. So with that said, I also released a new release video. You can hit the card thing up there and watch that if you haven't yet. Glad you came around and watched this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe and like button if you want to see more. I have new releases videos coming out every month, and I have more videos planned to come out soon, and I'm excited. Let me know what you've been reading, what you've been watching, what you've been writing, all that stuff in the comments below. And thank you for joining. See you in the next one.